This is We the Sales Engineers podcast, show 247.
Welcome to We the SE's podcast, the show for sales engineers by sales engineers with your host, Ramzi Majaba.
What's up, SE Nation? Welcome back to another episode. My name is Ramzi Majaba. I am your host for today, and we're here for another solo show. In case you were not aware, and if you aren't aware, shame on me, I have a service. It's called the SE Hotline. It's basically coaching for sales engineers and helping sales engineers excel, helping those who aspire to become sales engineers have an affordable way of actually learning, and they don't have to pay thousands and thousands of dollars to become one. And part of that, you get access to a few courses or a couple courses that I have or I am working on, and you get early access to those courses. And today, the actual episode, what you will hear today is a session that I did. I did a one-on-one session with a gentleman by the name of Gene Lubin. Great guy. He has his own company and he's looking to become an SE. So if you're looking for SE, you should check him out. And we just went through the sales cycle. It's a 40-minute session, and we went as deep as we could in 40 minutes. So it was fairly comprehensive. It's not everything, but there's a lot of information in there that can help anyone at least verify their knowledge. So that is that session. I would highly recommend you watch it on YouTube because it is a whiteboarding session. Although if you do listen to it, you will understand what we're talking about. So check that out. If you are interested in the SE Hotline, you should check out the SE Hotline, wetheSalesEngineers.com/SE Hotline, or just click wetheSalesEngineers.com and you'll click the button. You can click the button to find more information there. And I am truly proud of the work that I've done with that and the people that I've helped, and I want to continue to help. There are limited spaces, so check it out, and I'll see you next time. In case you can tell, I am overhauling my office. It's office/gym right now. We'll fix that. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see that. If you're just listening, then scratch that. Anyways, let's jump into the actual session, and I'll see you afterwards. So, talking about the sales cycle, I have Gene here, one of my great clients, students, whatever. What do you call yourself?
Student. I'll stick with a student.
All right. So, Gene, have you ever bought a house?
Yes, I have.
How did you go around the process of buying a house?
We had to, first have the desire, right, to purchase a home, and then
Desire or need?
Need, because this is our firstborn daughter.
There you go.
We needed to move into a new house because she was actually born a month before we moved in.
Okay. Well, congratulations at the time.
Yes.
All right.
So, and then we got a realtor right after. We got a realtor, and back and forth searched through different homes, and then we went ahead and purchased the home after we saw the one that we liked at a really good offer too at the time. So yeah.
All right. So I'm going to share my screen, and that's great. That's a great example of what we're going to be talking about. So I want to make sure that you see my screen. Do you see Miro up here on the top? Okay.
So
the question mark on the bottom right.
Yep. See that? Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about it. So you're a customer. You decided you wanted to buy a house. How did you find your realtor?
How do we find our realtor? She was one of the recommended realtors on, I believe, Zillow.
Okay.
And then my wife reached out to her, and then everything went in from there. Yeah.
Okay. So realtor, so you were a lead, basically.
Yes.
A lead. And you found her on Zillow for some reason, but a lead can come from multiple sources. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you talk to the realtor, initially, the first discussion? What was the discussion about?
We were just first-time home buyers.
Okay.
Wanted to purchase a home, and could you help us?
What did she want to know from you?
She just wanted to know. Oh, she wanted to know how much I made. She wanted to know how much we make. To make sure we can pre-qualify for the loan.
Yeah.
So we could get a pre-qualification letter.
Okay.
And once we got the pre-qualification letter, yeah, those were some of the stipulations. Yeah, how much I made and pre-qualification letters.
So the next step in the sales cycle is qualification, which you said it
Oh, okay.
3 times. Right. And so she wanted to know how much money you made. She probably wanted to know when you wanted to buy the house. When do you need it?
Okay, yep, that she wanted to know, and we told her as soon as possible, because we were
Right.
at the time my wife was 7.5 months pregnant.
Okay.
Yep. So she was pregnant 7.5 months. Yep.
Okay. And she wanted to know that you're serious.
Yeah.
So she basically, the fact that you told her you need it as soon as possible, and you kind of confirmed that you will buy once you find a house, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the next steps was she took you out to show you a bunch of houses, right?
Yes. Yes.
Before she took you to find a bunch of houses, did she ask you what you're looking for in a house?
We told her, yes, she asked us what we were looking for.
3 bedroom, 2 bath.
Yeah. Yep. We wanted at least a 3-2, like more like a 3-bedroom and 2 bath.
Okay.
And we ended up getting a 3-2.5.
Nice.
Makes sense.
Good.
Yeah.
So she understood what you wanted, and then she
Yep.
took you out, and she started showing you houses, which is basically.
Yep.
And after that was done, you wanted to put an offer on the house, right?
Yeah.
So you put an offer, or in our terms, a proposal.
Proposal. Okay. Yeah.
I can't. There's not enough space here to write proposal. Come on.
Mhm.
Proposal. Did they negotiate at all, or did they just accept your proposal?
They accepted it. They accepted our proposal. Yeah, they accepted our proposal. It was a widow who was looking to move near. She was looking to move closer to her family, and then her niece was also a real estate agent. So it sort of worked out where she would go. So we made the offer, and they really liked what the offer was. So.
Yeah, you offered too much.
Oh, I think so. Looking back, I think so.
It's funny. I was reading a book about real estate. I don't know, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, can't remember. But basically, the guy said, while negotiating for a property, even if you get an offer that you want, pretend that you don't want it, just for a few seconds.
Okay.
So that when you say yes, they would think they want something and they won't be pissed off about it.
Yes.
Okay. So generally speaking, there's negotiation and then there's close.
Mm-hmm.
Now in real estate, you kind of, once you do the close, you're done. But here you have, like in sales, you have implementation. Bam. I'm recording all this and you're gonna have access to this.
Got it. Okay.
And then you have like nurturing, or farming. Are you familiar with the term farmer versus hunter?
No. This is. I mean, I could sort of make it out, maybe, but no, I've never.
What is it that you think? Farmer versus hunter. What does it mean in terms of sales?
Farmer. I think a farmer, from a farmer perspective, I think a farmer would gain a system or access so he can continually provide more and more food, either through seeds, with water. A farmer would basically seek to sort of not chase after, but have a continual source of food based off of the work they put in.
Exactly.
And,
So that's
yeah.
100% right. In terms of sales, you've already planted the seed. So you got the lead qualification, you sold your products to this company.
Mhm.
This company right now with SaaS is going to need to renew in 2 or 3 years or 1 year, whatever it is. And they will
Yeah.
also might need new things.
Mhm.
So you can continue to farm that, to nurture it, to grow it. So that when they want to buy some more stuff, you're there.
Yeah.
Whereas Hunter, you're going out trying to find the new lead. It's different company. Right. Make sense?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It makes big sense now. Yeah.
Right. So leads, we're gonna go in depth into all of these right now.
Mhm.
But when we start with leads, right? You got through like an online ad, pretty much, right? You got the realtor's information through like a recommendation on Trello, which is kind of a online advertisement or online
Mhm.
content,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So a lead can come from advertisement. They can come from referrals. Best leads come from referrals. That's not how you write referrals, but I don't care.
It's all right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And they can come from cold calls.
Cold calls. Okay. Cool calls.
They can come from lead magnets. Lead magnets are like if you go on anybody's website, they have white paper for you to download or webinar for you to join.
Mhm.
They have a bunch of these things. As soon as you put your information in and you have a domain name that's different from Gmail or Hotmail, that's a company name. Generally speaking, there should be an SDR or BDR contacting you right away.
Okay.
So the people who get like the way we get leads is through marketing,
Okay.
right? Marketing, they're creating the content to get people's eyeballs onto the website. You have
Got it.
corporate marketing and then you have product marketing. Product
Okay.
marketing are creating the content, and corporate marketing are the one like putting it out there for people to see. Right? So there's that. There's lists. People can buy lists to get leads, and then they end up cold calling them. You can get them from SEs and salespeople. So I'm talking to one customer in one company, and they have a friend in a different company who are looking for something very similar. I'll get the contact information, or I get an introduction, and then I go talk to them. So you can get leads from a bunch of different places.
Mhm.
How do you get leads for you? You mentioned that you for your own business right now. You
Mhm.
mentioned one way, which I think I have it listed here. How do you get referrals right now? Or how do you? I guess I answered the question.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Currently now, but it was pretty much the way I got referrals was through business owners that I knew,
Yep.
right? So I had business owners as friends who either started different kind of car businesses or different things, and I'll say, hey, do you know of someone that would sort of need some of the things that I can offer, right? And
Yep.
so it was it's pretty much
Yeah.
through that.
So you had contacts, and you
Yeah,
just
contacts. Okay.
expanded on that.
Mhm.
So that's how you get leads. And generally speaking, the like a lot SEs do it, salespeople do it. But when you get a lead from one of these, like lead magnet, or if you're looking for a cold call, you have a list and you're looking to cold call. This is kind of the job. Here, I want to change colors of the SDR or BDR. Okay. Are you familiar with those terms?
Yes,
Okay.
I think. Yeah,
So,
I'm familiar.
so SDR is sales development representative. BDR is business development representative. Now they're known as tech sales for some reason,
Yeah, yeah, they're known as tech sales. Yeah.
and their job is basically to cold call and cold email.
Mhm.
But when I say cold call, I usually mean cold call and cold email. All right, so let's talk about qualifications. So you already mentioned this. Your realtor asked you for how much you make and how much you would qualify, and that's called budget. Right? They want to know that you have the budget to actually pay for it. Even if let's say you qualify for $1 million, if you have way too many expenses, that's not debt.
Yeah.
Like if you have Netflix, if you have like a subscription to a golf course or like those add up, and even if you qualify, you might not have the budget to pay for an expensive house. So they want to know you have budget before they actually move you, before they tell you like, hey, what kind of house do you want to buy? Right? They want to know that you have the authority, which if you showed up on your own, they would tell you like, hey, how about you bring your wife with you next time?
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
Or same way, like vice versa works as well. So they want to know they have the authority to actually buy that place. A need. You had a very specific need. You want to buy a house so you can have a family. You have a daughter coming along. You wanted somewhere for her to sleep, so you need the house.
Yeah.
Remember earlier on you said the desire, and I said need.
Need. Yep.
So you haven't, because if you have a desire, when you see how much money you need to pay per month or for the house, the desire will go away fairly quickly.
Yeah.
You need to have a need.
Yeah.
Right? Like I have a desire to buy a Porsche. I cannot afford it.
Can't afford it.
And then the timeline. You told her you want the house ASAP.
Yeah.
So if you notice, this methodology is called BANT. So if you ever hear BANT, that's what it stands for.
Timeline. Okay.
There's also MEDIC. I like to say MEDIC, but people have mocked me for that. So MEDIC as well. There's MED PIC, double D, which is also like metrics. I can't remember, like champion, interest, decision maker, stuff like that. Like we can look at it on the internet, the interwebs, and they will tell you. But bottom line, you need to know that they can buy if they want to. They actually want to buy, and they needed this in the short term, not in 5 years. Because if they need it in 5 years, I'm not gonna waste my time right now on this. We can talk about that later. So for this part, the qualification part, this is generally done by the SDRs in theory, but I've seen that not to be done in most cases. But the account executive has to do it. And I've seen it not done in most cases. So a lot of times the SE ends up doing it.
Wow.
But they should not be doing it. Like it should not be, it's not part of their requirement. And the next part is discovery. And that's when she started asking you, like, what are you looking for? What do you need? This is basically just trying to make sure that you're trying to find the business problem. You're trying to find out what the business problem is using this problem. Then you're trying to find out what the technical problem is. Like, and you want to see if it's a technical fit. And what I like to say is discovery, you need to build excitement.
Okay.
So business, in the I don't know if you watched the previous video, but the previous video states that sales engineering is the process of solving a business problem through technology. If a customer doesn't have a business problem, it doesn't matter how cool the technology is, you're not going to sell anything. In your case, your business problem was you needed a bigger house to be able to raise a family. So it was an actual real problem. The technology was the house. You didn't. The business problem wasn't, oh, I want a cooler house or I want a bigger house No, the business problem was I need someone somewhere to live and to raise my daughter with enough room to grow, if we choose to, for example. And then the technology was the house.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when people like salespeople do the qualification, they don't have the technical know-how to ask to do the technical qualification. So we end up doing it on our calls here.
Okay. So this is pretty much where the SE is right here. This is they're asking all.
They should be.
Yep, they should be.
They should be. But a lot of times they're not invited to these calls.
Whoa.
And that's something I'm fighting for. So the AE is definitely here. The SE should be here. It depends on how complex the product is and how much information can the salesperson get on their own. If we're talking AWS, the SE needs to be on pretty much every call.
Yeah.
Right? If we're talking about like a software that can be demoed with 2 clicks, you don't even need an SE. Right? The software I use to do my own presentations is called Gondola.io.
Yeah.
It's a very cool tool. It's not complicated at all.
Okay.
The company does not have any sales engineers. The salespeople go through the entire sales cycle on their own.
Wow.
Right? Because it's not complex.
Yeah.
Why would you hire a technical person for something that's not very technical?
Get that complex, yeah.
So the more technical the product is, the more you see the SE shifting left in this sales cycle.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna skip selling for now. I'm gonna go straight to proposal.
Proposal, okay.
So proposal. All right. I'm gonna use another color so that you can differentiate. Blue.
All right.
Proposal, like what we're doing here is like building the bill of material, which we say is BOM, and don't ever say BOM at an airport.
Oh, of course now. Oh no, yeah, of course, yeah.
I learned that the hard way.
Oh,
well, nothing happened. It's just people started looking at it. Like, no, bill of material, not BOM.
Yeah. Okay.
And so the SE can participate in that.
Okay.
Then you have the pricing. You can have statement of work. So again, depends on how complex the product. Proposal can change. But generally speaking, what are we proposing? We're proposing these technical components, right? And the SE has to come up with these technical components. So
okay.
Right? The SE does that. And then pricing, that's the AE. SAL, the statement of work, could be SE, could be someone from ProServe.
Okay.
Right? It depends on the product. And then the salesperson has to go and present it to the customer. Negotiation. Go ahead.
No. So okay, so when they go propose it, obviously, you're no longer you just come up with the BOM or and so that's pretty much where
Yeah. Well, yeah. So you already through the discovery process and through the selling process, which I'll come back to in a second, you've come up with what it is that the customer needs to do that.
Yeah.
Right. You've also come up with a value prop. Like if you buy my product, you're going to reduce X by Y. Like you're going to reduce your money spent by 10% or whatever it is. And you can throughout the proposal you can come up with an implementation plan. Like, hey, within 6 months you should see X% progress, or within 10 months you should see Y% progress, and in a year and a half you should see whatever it is progress. And then negotiation is kind of self-explanatory. Right? You negotiate on the price, and then here you get PO. Ever heard the term PO?
No.
Purchase
no.
order.
Purchase order, okay.
And different companies may have different things. If it's SaaS, they might just go online and buy it, whatever. And then you have the implementations where you bought all the stuff. Now you actually need to put it into their environment, into their infrastructure, whatever it is.
Gotcha. And that's typically post sales, right?
So different places have different things.
Okay.
In my current company,
Mhm.
SEs do it.
Oh, okay.
Some other companies have field service engineers, so FSEs. You can also, if they bought professional services, they can have pro serve, right? You can also have customer success.
Okay.
Customer success be involved here, part of the implementation. The SE,
Would
go ahead.
would a solution architect be a part of this too, or no?
It depends.
Okay.
So a solution architect is another name for a sales engineer. That could be one possibility.
Okay. All
Uh,
right.
a solution architect can be a specialized sales engineer. So I'm a
Okay.
generalist sales engineer where I cover 10 different products.
Mm-hmm.
We can call it a solution architect is a sales engineer who covers one product, doesn't own a territory, he owns the product. So he covers the entire US or Canada, whatever it is. And a lot of times these are pre-sales. There's
Oh,
also
okay.
solution architects who are like, I used to work as a network design engineer. I had teammates that called themselves solution architects. So when the
Okay.
customer bought the network, the equipment for the network, they also bought services to design the network.
Okay.
Right? And that was the solution architect. So it wasn't implementation, but it was designing so that another team in professional services can do the implementation.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And then you have like the farming and hunting. Usually hunting is reserved for account executives. Farming could be customer success. And it could be account management, could be account executive, could be SE. Everybody could be involved in here.
Wow.
It depends on the size of the company. There's also something called TAM, technical account manager, which is deceiving because that's a very hands-on person, technical person that a customer buys and they're on site or remote, whatever, but they're working for that customer and to help them as the first line of support, for example.
Yeah. You know who I thought I this is definitely not an SE role. It reminds me of Salesforce does a lot of that. Salesforce, like they'll have folks who once that product is sold, like they'll
Yeah,
have a Salesforce person kind of work it out like that.
yeah. It's funny. I got a call from a Salesforce rep asking
Okay.
me about how things are going with my with my employer,
Mm-hmm.
asking me for feedback. I'm like, dude, you have the wrong person. And they call me, so that's something that people need to get better at, calling the right people.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna get into selling soon. Any questions about this?
No, it's pretty good.
Okay. So I'm gonna erase all this. Whew, so clean.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna get into selling. So selling can be divided, like it can be its own sales cycle, its own cycle, right? Because you did the discovery, you have a discovery here, so discovery, and then you have a proposal here. Right? In the meantime, selling could be presenting a solution,
Mm-hmm.
then demo, and these could be on the same meeting or separate meetings.
Okay.
And then you have proof of value, proof of concept, whatever you want to call it. At any point, you can go back to discovery.
Okay.
So you can go back to discovery at any point where you find out, like, oh crap, I missed something.
Mm-hmm.
Generally speaking, presenting happens when you have like a company like Dell or Cisco or Nokia,
Okay.
whatever, where it's a very complicated product, even Google or AWS, it's a very complicated product.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get into the weeds of actually showing you, we're going to be talking about the solution in theory. But so presenting could also include whiteboarding, right? Any of these could be could have whiteboarding. But presenting is basically like trying to get a better understanding or provide a better understanding Understanding of solutions. I'm not gonna of solutions. Right. Also, you get to do discovery. So every meeting with a customer is a discovery call. By the way, interviews, they're a discovery call. And they're
yes, good way to look at that. Okay.
so
Yeah.
you're trying to and the thing about discovery is it's a two-way street. You're trying to discover more about them, they're trying to discover more about you.
Yeah.
And it has to be even. You have to be able to provide information and give information and get information. But every meeting, every time you meet a customer, every time you meet an interviewer, it's your chance to discover more about them and to sell yourself. So even in a discovery meeting, if you're talking to a customer, you're still selling your product in one way, shape, or form.
That's right. Okay.
And by the way, throughout the sales process, at any point, the sales process can end with a loss. And it could be a loss because they bought already from somebody else, or that you found out at that time it's not a good fit.
Yeah.
Right? And just end it there. Or try to find a workaround, but usually you could end it. So you're providing a better understanding, you're doing a better discovery, and you're basically qualifying yourself in or out every time. Technical qualification, and trying to find out what's really important. Because if you have one discovery call, it might not be enough for them to open up to you and give you what they really need. So the more times you meet them, obviously you want the sales cycle to be as short as possible. Yeah. But the more you meet them, the more you can actually give and take.
Got it. Yeah.
And the demo is self-explanatory, really. You're showing the product in the best light possible, in a way that they would use it, and in a way that will be useful for them. So you're not showing every button, you're not showing every field, every feature. Based on the discovery, based on the questions that they asked, you build a demo for that customer.
Got it. Right. Because that's part of the discovery. You're sort of figuring things out. It's almost like a Sherlock Holmes kind of situation. You're just gathering the evidence. So by the time you get to the demo, hey, we this is what you've been asking for. So let us show it to you.
Exactly. This is giving me problems. Come on now. Come on. Remove the line too. Come on. Be gentle. All right. So let's go back. Now, in a demo, again, you're focused on value, storytelling.
Okay.
Problem solving. And that's a common mistake that I see, is that people focus on the feature and they don't focus on the problem that the customer had.
That's right. I see. I can see that. Yeah.
So value / benefit. Ever heard like talk benefit, not feature? Heard that term?
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah. So we'll talk about value, and we'll share it through a story. It's a story. So you watched a movie. What's a good movie that you've watched that you enjoy?
Oof. The Count of Monte Cristo.
The Count of Monte Cristo is an amazing story.
Yes.
And this is the hero's journey, and this is what we need. So the Count of Monte Cristo started off as a normal guy. Right? Nothing good, nothing bad. He then faces adversity where his best friend sends him off to jail. So you get the straight line, and now you get, if you look at the hero's journey, normal, and then the dip. He hits rock bottom, and then he escapes. And he during jail, he makes himself into a better man. So he's going up, and then he's kind of facing more adversity here, where he's just not a good person, but he's a strong character now. He's better than he was here.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, he learns to forgive, and his life gets better. That's the hero's journey.
Yes.
So in a demo, this is called current state. This is what the customer has today.
Yeah.
And this is the issues they're facing.
Yes.
This is what they had yesterday, and this is the issues they're facing today.
This is good stuff. I like how this is coming together. Yes. Okay.
And now they met us, and their life is about to improve.
Yes. Okay.
And here we fixed their problem, and they're thriving. Right.
Okay.
And that's what we need to do in a demo.
Okay. Got it. Wow. Mm-hmm.
Now you can show almost anything in a demo. A demo, like I said, it's a story. We can spin it whichever way we want. They might ask very hard questions, but we could, if we're good, we can answer almost any question. They still don't trust us, and they still want to try it in their lab, and that's where the POV comes in. Now, if we did a good job with this, we might be able to skip the POV altogether. But lots of companies I know, like even the companies that I work for today, they want to try it out. It's in their selling motions. They want to try out the product. So when you're doing the POV, this is a project now. And you've become a project manager. So you kind of have to build a plan, a POV plan, which includes what they want to see, the test cases they want to see, milestones, and go, no-go criteria. You also want to have set dates. The definition of a project is it has a start and it has an end, right? And this is where I see most mistakes. Well, all of it is people do POVs without a POV plan, or the plan is to just give them the licenses and have them play with it. And that's not what we do. So we have the POV plan. We need to come up with that. And we're going to get into more details with this later on. Like not in this session, but generally speaking, this is what a POV plan in basic term would look like. Any questions?
No. This is good. It's a good breakdown. It's clear.
Good. So that's pretty much all I wanted to share for today.
Okay.
This is the sales cycle. We talked about the entire sales cycle, and we talked about the internal stuff, like within selling, because selling and SE is involved in all of this. And one thing, it could be the SE. So we already talked about some of this. So the AE should be involved in all aspects of selling. Should be. Sometimes they're just hands-off. You have the SE, so a generalist, and then you might have a specialist. And that's the solution architect we talked about earlier. Also, when you have a POV, it's the SE doing it, but I like to have escalation plans in case something goes bad. Who do I call? Who do I call? One interview question that I got from Splunk.
Oh wow! Okay.
When we were doing the role play, and they asked me, Ramsey, I want to try this out in my lab. Can I get like 10 licenses for a couple months? So they were testing me to see what my reaction would be, and I said, hell no. Right? Because, and this is my response. I would love for you to try this out. In my experience, if I give you 10 licenses, it usually leads to failure because you're busy, you get pulled into a million different things. You never get to try it out. And 2 months later, you're going to ask me for more licenses. And the cycle will repeat. If you want to have a successful POV, and successful could mean that you're going to choose us, or you know that you did the right choice by not choosing us. I would like to have a bit of a plan with you, where we know exactly what we're going to do, we know the timelines, and we know who on your end is going to be working with us to make sure this is successful. Sounds fair? Fair. Perfect. And that's my response to like customers, to interview questions. It's the same response I give anywhere.
Mhm.
So part of the plan is, who do I call if things go to hell?
Mm.
Because especially if you're integrating with somebody else, we don't test every integration.
Mhm.
So we need to know, will it work? And if we're doing it live, who do I call if it doesn't?
Yeah.
So, and we'll talk about POC plans later on. But there's a good book
Okay.
about POCs. Actually, I don't know if it's a good book. There's a book about POCs by Tony Matos. What's it called? I can't remember what it's called, but Tony Matos on Amazon. If you want to check it out, I haven't read that book yet.
Got it.
So yeah, that's the end of today's session. Any
All right.
questions, Gene?
No. No, I think it was everything was pretty clear. It sort of gave you a map as to the expectations, the roles,
Yeah.
the cycle, everything. Like it's clear. It's clear.
So some roles, but do you know Cyrus Harbin?
Cyrus, no, I don't.
He's on YouTube, and he's out there. He talks about it. I had him on my podcast, and the way his previous company works is he just gets invited to demos. So everything we talked about today, he's not involved in anything other than the demo. During the demo, he might have to do a discovery, or he might have to do a
Okay.
discovery on the salesperson, but he's not involved in most other things. He doesn't even know if the opportunity was won until he gets paid. Right?
Okay.
So when you're looking for a job, or when you're looking to move, if you become an SE and you're looking to switch to another company, you want to make sure where you are in the sales cycle, and that's a question that is important to ask.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Like, am I just a demo monkey? Well, don't ask that, because if you are, you don't want to insult anybody. But like, what is my role in the sales cycle? Am I involved in the discovery? Am I involved in the negotiation? Where do I fit in the sales cycle? So yeah, that's pretty much what I had today. Cool.
All right. Yeah, cool. It's good stuff.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with what I said, or do you disagree? Do you like the term demo monkey? I don't think anyone does, and hopefully nobody actually is a demo monkey, someone who just does demos, because then you could be replaced by recording. But yeah, that's one session. There are many more. I'm still recording sessions as well. If you're interested, check out the SE Hotline, WeTheSalesEngineers.com. So that's it for today. I'll see you next time. With that, I'm signing off.